Get up here. Let's dance. Let's dance. I came from Jesus.
Today's word is reciprocity. Reciprocity. Don't ask me to do a damn thing that you wouldn't do for me.
I dated a married man and I don't feel bad. And I know a lot of people are gonna leave me hate in the comments for this, but just hear me out. The story starts at my job where I met him for the first time. He came in with a bunch of his coworkers and instantly I was drawn to him. Physically, he was not my type. He was short, he was chubby, and he was also Filipino. So the night goes on and he tipped me a ton of money that night and afterwards asked me if he could take me out sometime. And I said, yeah, sure. And just because he had tipped me so much, I gave him my number and he gave me his, but I never expected to hear from him after that. But then about a week later, he texted me and he seemed really persistent to want to take me out and I was a little apprehensive, so we settled on just a lunch date. This lunch date, which was by the way at a super nice steakhouse, ended up turning into a shopping event. I never meant for this to be a sugar daddy situation, but when he said that he wanted to take me to Valentino and Louis Vuitton on a shopping spree, I was like, sure. Like literally at that point in my life, I had only ever owned like one Michael Kors bag. After that shopping spree, it did sort of turn into a sugar daddy, sugar baby situation, and I'm not gonna lie, he spent a lot of money and he would even pay me to hang out with him. The one odd thing was that there was never any intimate contact between us. Like there would maybe be hand holding and maybe like a kiss on the cheek, but never anything more than that. Sometimes he would joke about having a micro you-know-what, and so I assumed maybe it was because of that. And to be honest, I was getting like more and more attracted to him the more time we spent together. He was super nice to me. Like my previous boyfriend, I paid all the bills, I took care of us financially. So a year into this relationship, it goes from a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship to me actually catching legitimate feelings for this guy. So much so that he actually plans a trip to New York City, flies me out first class with him, puts me up in a 5-star luxury hotel, and invites my entire family to stay with us. He takes me to the Cartier store and buys me a forever bracelet. I thought this guy was gonna propose to me. So I decided I was gonna make it Instagram official, and I even posted a picture of us. The trip ends, we go back home, and things take a really weird turn. And I want you guys to remember that this guy was still spending lots of money on me, and specifically at Louis Vuitton. Remember that, because that is an important detail you will need to know at the end. He starts being really flaky once we get back from our New York trip. He's not answering my text messages, and eventually I crack and I just call him up. I say, hey, can we have lunch? Because I want to know what's going on between us. So he meets up with me for lunch, and he finally confesses why he's been so weird. He tells me that he's been having chronic headaches, and he decided to go see a neurologist, and that neurologist told him that he had some sort of lesion or spot on his brain. Because this guy was super well connected in the Philippines and knew a lot of doctors there, he was gonna go fly there for 3 to 4 weeks and figure out what was going on. And then things get even weirder. For 3 to 4 weeks, I don't hear from him at all. And because I'm so delulu, I actually convinced myself that it was probably because there was no cell phone service in the Philippines. Your girl is panicking. She's checking obituaries every single day because I'm literally thinking the worst. So eventually I say enough is enough, and I remember one thing about this man. I remember where he said he worked. And I also remember the names of one of his coworkers. So I call up his work, I ask for him, and obviously he's not in. So then I ask to be transferred to his coworker who is there. And as soon as I tell the coworker who I am and that I'm looking for so-and-so, he is like completely shocked and caught off guard. Like he tells me that he can't discuss this over the phone, but that he would like to meet up for dinner that night and tell me everything that's going on because he just feels that it's fair to me. So I start freaking out. So I meet up with this guy for dinner and I'm just like, hey, what's going on? Like so-and-so told me that he has a brain tumor possibly. He's been in the Philippines for 4 weeks. And his coworker tells me that he is indeed in the Philippines, but he's not there for the reason that he told me. He is there for the funeral of his father with his wife and 2 kids.
Hello everyone. Listen, I am convinced that most women are not really deceived by these men, you know? I think they simply do not want to know. And why the heck was she upset upon hearing he was out of the country with his wife and children? The feigned anger. Girl, he afforded you a lifestyle. I mean, with the help of the wife. Let us just say he had privileged access. The delusional, presumptuous mind of these sugar babies. But then I get why she says she doesn't feel badly about what she did. It is because the end justifies the means.
Then I go on and tell his coworker all the things that he's been doing with me, all the shopping trips, all of the vacations. And he's like shocked that this man even has this much money to be able to spoil me this way. And I end up finding out that his wife actually works for Louis Vuitton, which explains all of the Louis Vuitton gifts. At this point, I was so heartbroken and so shocked, and I was so ready to put this all behind me. But then about 2 weeks later, I got a really scary and threatening message from a woman on my Instagram who commented on that picture that I posted of him. Obviously, his wife. Turns out she found out because he used her airline points to book our first-class flights to New York City. And she saw my name on the reservation using her points. Now, obviously, this must have been devastating to her, and my sympathy goes out to her, but I felt like I was completely bamboozled as well. To this day, I still have such a hard time trusting people because this person was capable of creating such lies. This man was capable of lying not only to me, but all of my friends and family, and he kept it up for so long. So I'd like to know, do you think I'm to blame?
I said what I said.
As always, stay safe and be self-aware, and subscribe for more snippets of wisdom and real talk. See you in the next video.